Hey yo, Chi-Town, listen up. You are now listening to the best sports talk show in the Windy City. Combs and Fitz. Windy City Sports Talk. From the burst of the lake, there ain't no mistake. And Combs and Fitz gonna have the greatest of the hot takes.
Okay.
So hop on the board and join the bandwagon.
Ooh.
They gonna keep your feet moving and sometimes how you laughing.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
come on through with the sports talk is what you wish. The West know what's up and don't miss Fitz gibberish.
I can't do
It
that.
don't matter what team you playing, but what's gonna burn that flame. So put your team on the map. Guess what? We gonna do the same. From Comiskey to Wrigley,
What?
from Soldier to UC.
Okay.
Windy City Sports is where you need to be. But there is no furthermore. You get the jits. So let's get the rest for Combs and Fitz.
And what is going on, Windy City Sports Talk fans? It's your boy Brandon Combs, along with my guy Ryan Fitz Gibbons. Fitzy, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, nothing much. Just waiting for this MLB trade deadline.
Yes,
What's going to happen? Things are cooking. I thought there'd be a trade by now.
Things
on
are
one
cooking.
side.
You know what's not cooking? Baseball in Chicago. It is absolutely not cooking. What's going on, John Peebles in the chat?
What up, John?
Thank you for joining the show. Guys, tonight we got a fantastic show lined up for you guys. We are going to talk some whatever the hell USA basketball is right now. We're going to talk about the baseball trade deadline. We're going to break down the AFC West, and we've got a special announcement that we will bring to you guys here in a little bit. We're gonna let more people get in here, but we got special announcements. Very exciting news for Combs and Fitz Windy City Sports Talk. So, my guy, Ryan Fitzgibbons, you texted me earlier, and what your text read to me was LeBron is really starting to take this game over.
Yeah, I mean, he did. If you watch the end of it,
Who
not
are they
a-
playing?
they were playing Germany. I thought
Okay,
it was World War
okay.
II again. Maybe because I'm watching a World War II
Yeah.
show right now. Band of Brothers, by the way, on HBO. Check it out if you got time. It's only been
So
out.
they were playing Germany.
Yeah.
Fresh off their 1-point win over South Sudan,
That's tough though. I mean, that's not like North Sudan.
in which Luol Deng is the assistant coach and the president of South Sudan basketball. Did you know that?
No, I actually did know that. I knew he
Yeah.
had something to do with it. Sudan by way of England into the U.S. and on Duke, and then the Bulls obviously couldn't play with the ball in his hand though, so that was a big problem. But
Fitzy.
good player.
Fitzy. You cannot honestly be sitting there talking about how oh my God, LeBron's taking over this. Jordan and Kobe won these games by 50 points.
They did not win it by themselves, that's for sure. And
This
LeBron
USA team was
had every steal, every rebound, every point.
this
if
USA
the
team.
play, if the other
What-
guys aren't going to play, that's not his. That I would not totally put that at his doorstep.
But like Jeremiah Murray says, this team was told to us that it was the second greatest group of players put together since the Dream Team.
Didn't they say that when they lost to Puerto Rico back in 2004?
Yes, and that's what I'm getting at. This is, to me, just further proof that the conversation of LeBron as the GOAT is a joke. The conversation of LeBron as the GOAT should never be had anywhere at any time for any reason.
I always think those conversations are tough to have in different eras. It's a totally different era than it was when Jordan played. I mean, you
Yeah,
could say LeBron
Because we dominated.
Jordan does. I mean, LeBron shoots the three ball a lot better than Jordan, but if it was today's game, Jordan would have figured out how to shoot threes a lot better. It was just a different game. You had to pound a lot of things.
And if South Sudan,
The inside.
if South Sudan took a Michael Jordan-led team to the brink of a loss in which Jordan had to hit a layup with 7 or 8 seconds left to win a game. After the game, Jordan would have beat the shit out of every single one of his teammates.
He would have punched Steve Kerr for sure.
He would have punched Steve Kerr.
Right on the bench.
He would have punched Anthony Davis so hard that his unibrow became 2 unibrows.
Anthony Davis just looks lost out there.
He's terrible.
We're talking top 5 player just a few years ago.
Who was the guy who decided that Anthony Davis was a superstar in basketball? Because he's not.
For a minute, I wouldn't call him a superstar, but for a minute, he was one of the better players in the league, and now he just looks lost out there. Steph Curry looked okay, but I don't think they're utilizing him right. Steve Kerr's right there. Doubting Thomas can only look like a Donkey Kong emoji tonight. Then have much more to do than that.
Donkey Kong. You don't know who that is? You have a kid.
I can't even see it.
Sorry,
I remember last week one of your listeners talked about betting value versus Team USA. I have to say he was right about that. I mean, I don't think they've covered a spread here yet.
No, they were favored by 43 against South Sudan. They won by 1.
I think Germany.
Can you imagine what the betting line was if you bet that down to like maybe +5 for South Sudan instead of +43? You probably got that at like +10 grand.
I mean, it was probably a pretty damn good. Well, even with Germany kind of troubles me even more because the German people are known for being robotic, like engineers, not really being good at basketball. And they almost won that game. Like they're tied late.
It's so bad. They're going to get their asses handed to them against teams like France. These big teams like South Sudan they're going to murder this Team USA team. They're not. How are they going to stop Wemby? And this France team, not only Wemby, but they got I forget his name now too. Who's the other guy they got over? The other big man that they got over there in France. It's going to be a massacre when they play France. In France, nonetheless. It's a home game for France. It's going to be bad for Team USA. Team USA, if they medal, I'll be surprised. If they medal, I'll be surprised. If they win the gold, I'll be out of my mind. I don't think there's any chance they win gold, but if they medal, I will be shocked. Rudy Gobert, that's the other guy's name. Rudy Gobert.
Okay.
But I don't understand. I don't understand what Team USA has become and what they thought that this team was going to be and how they thought this team was going to compete. Why did they? I heard somebody the other day talk about, they should just, instead of sending a group of these players, they should just send the Boston Celtics over there, a team that's been playing together and has gelled together and knows how to win. You'd probably be better off if you just send the best NBA team as Team USA, as opposed to a group of all these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see. I mean, in some years past, they would have college players play when they lost to Russia, which was actually a ripoff job in '88, maybe.
Yeah.
When Doug Collins was on that team, that must have been before '88. It must have been '80. Whatever. They had mostly college players playing, and you'd think they play a little harder. I mean, I think they're going kind of easy on some of these teams. I'm hoping. And it's sort of how the NBA is now. I think John said the NBA today isn't like the 80s and 90s, but they wouldn't just blow teams out now. They kind of take it easy and then play in the fourth quarter. And I don't think that's going to work here. You're right. France has a pretty decent team looking at their roster.
They're ridiculous.
Nama is going to be a terrific player.
They're my pick to win gold is France.
Jesus. France? We can't lose to France. Look at what they did.
They're losing. They just beat South Sudan on a late buzzer beater. You think they're going to beat France? You out of your mind?
I gotta think they'll come to play. This has to be a wake up call for them.
That's what they said about South Sudan. And
then
then they came back today and barely beat Germany.
Quick turnaround. Let's give them one. I'm not betting against the USA to
Who was
win,
on the German squad that you knew?
I don't know in the spread.
Who was on the German squad that you knew?
Goebbels, Adolf Hitler.
You had no clue who was on the German team, and they struggled to beat them. You think they're going to beat Wemby and Gobert? It's 15-1 on France. Give me my money. I will take that all day long. There's no way. I'm not betting Team USA. I'm not betting Team USA to win silver or bronze. I don't trust them.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard. It depends on what the odds are, obviously, but I'd still pick them to win it. But
you're crazy. You're out of your mind.
40-point spread. I'm not taking the USA team for that.
You're drunk. You're drunk already.
I've only had like 3 sips, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you think Team USA is winning gold, you're drunk.
I'd have to think they're doing the NBA thing where they take a play or two off or what have you. They're only playing 20, 30 minutes. I don't think LeBron played that many hard minutes.
Minus 450 is your number for you, Team USA, to win gold. There is no chance in hell that I'm putting $1 on Team USA to win gold right now. There's no way.
Dollar wouldn't give you a lot back. I mean,
TV.
WNBA bitches.
Oh my word. Look, I don't know what's
it's
worse.
Hard to imagine.
And I've got to ask you what's worse. The way Team USA is playing, or the new punishment that is up for grabs on the show that I produce called Bet for the Cycle on Saturdays. So you thought that the Wheel of Death was bad. Mm-hmm. So much so that you don't want it back this season. But you don't have a choice because it's coming back anyway.
I had to do Fitz gibberish while my mouth was burning off.
So you think that's bad. So here, I told you that we won the bet. I won on a 20-1 parlay to make these guys drink cicadas. I had a Shohei Ohtani home run in my parlay and hit. They were so angry about me winning this bet that there is a new Malort punishment.
Oh boy.
Have you ever heard of Evil Malort?
I think I have, yes. I have a friend that drinks it all the time, like enough to where he like kind of likes it.
Well, there's no way that he's drinking Evil Malort enough to like it, because here's the ingredients of Evil Malort. Obviously, there's Malort. Not only is there Malort, but there is ink from squid inside of it.
What in the
that's not even the worst. There is also, not only do they cut up ghost peppers, but they also put the seeds inside, which is the hottest part of the pepper, inside of the Malort.
Yeah, they'll take seeds out of stuff sometimes when they're cooking with it. Yeah.
So not only is it infused with that, but it is also infused with the fat from a whale, and that's not the worst part.
Oh my god, gonna get worse.
Nicotine from Newports.
Oh my! How do you get nicotine from Newports? Is there?
I have no idea who came up with this concoction, but whoever it is,
like a little bit of a like cigarette tobacco in there, like maybe rolled up where it's almost like a tea bag.
There is no. If I lose this bet, I might have to quit the show.
I want a video.
I might have to quit my job at the radio station if I lose this bet.
A video.
I've got to win this bet. I've got to.
No, you're probably gonna lose.
I'm probably going to lose.
Talking about it, you're probably going to lose.
It's unbelievable. Look, the monster that came up with this, his name is Jake Hassan. He's a guest host on the radio station. He's also one of the board op and producers over there. I talk with Jake all the time. He's a great dude. Yeah, exactly, Michelle. He's a great dude.
Baby.
So
you are acting kind of like,
dude. All right, I'll tell you. Hey, I'm acting like. How about this? How about this? Hey, look, we're a show. I'm gonna put Evil Malort on the Wheel of Death.
No, you're not.
Why? I'm acting like a baby. Why don't you want it on the Wheel of Death?
I wanted to go through with it. I didn't get on this bet and come on a show, start an entire podcast, a bitch about you drinking an Evil Malort. That does sound pretty bad.
That sounds terrible.
How much do you have to drink of it?
A full shot.
Yeah, you can probably just throat that thing.
It's
thrown at things before.
I give it that old Hawk Tua.
Yeah.
I don't, dude. I mean, you're gonna have to keep buckets near us. Malort by itself, Mark DiGiacomo, is not too bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not too bad. It's actually a delicacy in Southside bars here in Chicago.
Yeah. But
the evil side of Malort,
that's jet fuel,
is gross. In the fact that he came up with this, and the fact that the hosts of the show, I shouldn't say host because Cody Decker wasn't there this weekend. And this is why this became a punishment, was because Jake was filling in for Cody Decker. So Cody Decker doesn't even have to do this punishment if it happens.
What?
But Rob Brown, the other host, agreed to this. So he gave us an option. He gave the executive producer, David Dykstra, and our video producer, Dan, gave us an option, which I did not get an option, by the way. I didn't get a vote. Just going to say it out there. And here's why I didn't get a vote. The other option was to run a Malort 5K. And the Malort 5K is a 3-mile run in which you stop every half a mile to do a shot of Malort. Crazy. While running 3 miles, do a shot. So about 6 shots of Malort to run 3 miles. So
that answer your question, Mark. It's as if they made a really bad tequila in LeBron James's
yes,
from the first championship he won that has never been washed. That's kind of what it tastes like.
It's going to be disgusting. I have to win this bet. I'm going to do everything I can. I'll keep everybody updated. I have to win this bet. But anyway, we've got a special announcement.
All right.
We've got a bunch of people here. They're watching. We've got a lot of people I can see. There's usually more than what it tells us on here, and it tells us that we've got I see 10 people watching right now.
Yeah.
So we've got a special announcement. Combs and Fitz. You guys see us all the time. We're always out doing stuff. We've done, draft day stuff. We've done, live events, doing, at Bags events down here on the South Side. Mm-hmm. We've done all sorts of different things.
Busters.
Dave and Buster's. Our guy, Nick Johnston, who was all about the cigarette smoke, baby, was there with us. Him and the guys from Blow the Whistle, they do a fantastic job over there.
They sure do.
But we here, we love our Southside bars. We love our Southside bars. And my mother-in-law likes to drink at a Southside bar when I have days off here and there, and I take her day drinking. And so while I was day drinking at said bar, I started talking with one of the bartenders, one of the owners, one of the event planners, and we came to an agreement. And every Sunday they do a spread and they have a lot of fun with the Bears season. And they want Combs and Fitz.
Yes.
To do a pregame show every Sunday during the Bears week, every game day, I should say. So Combs and Fitz will be live from McNally's on 111th and Western every Bears game day starting on September 8th at 11 a.m.
That's
We'll
early.
start the season. It is early. And 9 times out of 10, I still have to work at the radio station from 2 to 8 on Sundays. So this is going to be really fun.
People will come, Ray.
People will definitely come. Come out in droves. Tell everybody, man. Tell everybody. I promised them at a minimum, I promised them 15 people. That's going to be very doable. It's a small bar. When we did what we did over at Bourbon Street and what we showed up with over at a couple of other places that we've done, we've had over hundreds of people. Yeah. So we've had hundreds of people come. In the show, it's always great for Combs and Fitz. So I have no worries about 15 people. The only worry that I have is that we bring so many people that people are going to end up having to wait outside and getting mad at us.
It'll be as if they dipped themselves in magic waters.
So,
the magic waters is going to smell a lot like Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yes. So we are excited for the opportunity. We hope to see everybody there. Mega TV, Jeremiah, come up for a game. You don't have to come up every week. I know you live like 19 hours away. We hope to see everybody there. We're going to have guests. As it goes on, we'll get guests there. Hopefully former players, maybe former coaches. We'll have people there as well to help us. And it's going to be great, man. It's fantastic. We're excited for the opportunity. There's going to be drink specials. There's going to be all sorts of things there for us at McNally's. So John People says congratulations. Thank you very much, sir. Michelle, congrats.
Oh, you
Mark
skipped
John.
Jeremiah's. Wait. You skipped Jeremiah's.
Sox bar? It is a Sox bar.
Yeah, baby. Got the cutoffs today.
And I always go in there wearing my Cubs hat. They love it.
Jerk off.
Do it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Just one.
Yeah. So that is some exciting news. I'm excited. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Even though I got to spend more time with Fitz, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah. We can tell the Secret Service, but they don't care. No one's going to be
Secret Service is going to be running security for the show, so nobody has to worry.
That's not good.
No.
That is not going to be good.
No, but you don't have to worry because there's not going to be snipers on the roofs because the roofs are flat, so they don't want to send anybody up there because the pitch is too dangerous.
This country, stop it.
333 million people in the United States. These are the two fucking idiots we get to fight over.
Yeah, I know. And Biden's out. I mean, you want to talk about that for the next 45 minutes? Or?
No, I do not. I do not. We've already talked enough politics. Yes. I'll check it out before Red Zone comes on. You should check it out even while Red Zone's on. Watch it all day long. Watch it on replay. No, just kidding. We will definitely we'll be on from 11 to noon on most Bears game days, but if they do have a Thursday, we got to figure out the Thursday night, Monday night stuff. We'll figure all that out as we go. But as of right now, the first show, week 1, right before the Bears beat the shit out of the Titans.
I mean, come on.
We get to be there at 11 a.m.
I think, yeah, they got to win that game. Come on.
They better win that. Dude, they don't win that game, people are going to start losing their minds already. We're going to get to we're going to break down the AFC West tonight, but eventually we're going to get to the NFC North. And I got to tell you, the more and more I do research and the more and more I look at these teams, the more and more my opinion changes about the NFC North. So when we get there, hold on to your butts.
Oh, boy.
As soon as I put this hot poker in my ass, I'm going to chop my dick off.
Don't do that, George. Don't do that, George.
Come on, George. Come back.
Right.
Jesus, do we need George Carlin right now or what?
That might be what whatever the hell they call her, the executive of the Secret Service wants to do right now is chop her dick off.
Yeah,
but
it's getting weird out there.
But they were hammering her today. It was great. It was fantastic. I never, dude. I'm talking about like on the House of Representatives, talking about like they were calling it bullshit. They were like, I was like, yes, get her. There's probably a sniper in the room right now.
Probably. I just let him go.
Oh God, that's true. Jeremiah said George already told us everything that was going to happen before he died.
Pretty much. Too much.
So yeah, so exciting news. You excited?
I'm super. I think it's going to be electric. I used to live right next to McNally's.
I know. You told me you used to go drinking in your robe.
Yeah, I would actually. They would sell me 6-packs. I don't think they did it for everybody, but I once went into my robe and the bartender was like, "Ryan,
got somebody fired." Great,
Ryan, come on, like we can't do this anymore. Like, you got to have clothes on if you're gonna come over here. I was in my 20s, early to mid 20s.
It was last week. Shut up.
It was.
It was last week.
So proud.
Oh my God. So yeah. So great news, fantastic news. Now on to less exciting news. Chicago baseball. The Cubs are.
That's terrible.
Thanks, Charles.
Yeah, it is terrible. The Cubs are opening up a 3-game series with the Milwaukee Brewers starting tonight.
Must win.
Well, yeah. I mean, dude, every game from here on out is pretty much must win for the Cubs.
That series, they have to at least win the series.
Yeah, you know, they gave a lot of false hope before the All-Star break. They were playing good baseball. They swept the Orioles. I was like, all right, maybe we got something here. Mike Tauchman's coming back. All right. Let's see what's happening. And then they go to the All-Star break and they come back and they score 4 total runs and win 1 game against the Arizona Diamondbacks via a walk-off walk in a game that was tied 1-1 in the 10th. I know you aren't laughing at the Sox even won a game since the All-Star.
Hey, it's not the Sox against the Cubs. They both suck.
They do both suck.
The worst team ever. Like it is just. It's sad. It's
dude,
terrible.
They have to win.
The first article in a while.
They have to win 15 games, right, to not be the worst record in 162 games.
Yeah, I think it's 50. I thought it was 16, but it's
50. All right, it's 50. Are they going to do it?
I don't think so. I mean, this is so bad. I shared the Onion article that said, that the White Sox might not know that their games are actually televised.
That's crazy. That's so funny.
The Onion article I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they are so bad. It is like sell the team at this point. And then what are they going to do with this trade? Are they asking too much for Crochet? I don't really, at this point, I've gone back and forth. At this point, I don't think they should trade Crochet. Looks like Fetty's going to go to St. Louis, though.
So Jeremiah Murray, I kind of agree with and kind of disagree with. He says, here's something you don't want to hear. Cubs can't sell because they don't have any tradable assets. Kind of agree with you there, but also kind of disagree. Sox have more assets than the Cubs.
Viable assets. I would put viable in front of that.
I would say major league ready assets.
Yeah. Well, not just that. Like guys who are like have 2 years left on their contract, like Crochet or Fetty has only 1 year left on his contract. You're obviously going to want to trade him. You're not going to trade Imanaga. What does he have? 5 years. You're like you've said before. Seiya Suzuki has 4 years left. You're not going to trade those guys, but you could. Yeah. I mean, people would pick them up but the Cubs aren't going to get rid of them.
I picked him to win the division, Downey Thomas.
He did on the Super Bowl when we did the Super Bowl bets with him. He said 70 games, and I said 70 games.
Yeah,
that's a lot. He's like, they'll lose 92. I'm like, I think they're going to lose a lot more than that.
So, look, the Cubs are in one of those spots where I agree with Jeremiah. They can't sell.
It's a weird spot. It is.
So here's the thing: you've got your most tradable piece is probably Ian Happ, but he has a no trade clause.
Yep.
And in order for you to trade him, he's going to have to agree with it. And he loves Chicago, man. I don't think he's going to agree to a trade.
I mean, to the right team, don't you get kind of?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe Pittsburgh, because that's where he's from. But Pittsburgh's not buying. And not only that, Cubs are only 4.5 out of the wild card. Your next tradable piece, probably Nico Horner or Jamison Taillon. Taillon's got a 2-year deal.
It looks like
he's got 2 years left on his deal after this year.
Taillon might be the one that actually gets dealt.
But here's the thing: if you're the Cubs, you have to right now. If you're Jed Hoyer, and I put all of this on Jed Hoyer. Look, I'm not. You could talk all you want about Craig Counsell and the money that he got and all that. Right. But he was given a bullpen that was in shambles, that has been in shambles for the last 3 seasons.
Terrible.
And he was given that to work with. And he's done his best to work with it. However, 25 blown leads in the 7th inning or later. Some of them they've come back to win, but 25 blown leads in the 7th inning or later.
Yeah, I know you don't want to hear this, but the Sox have like 20 or 21, something like that. Yeah. And I mean, that's a lot of bad baseball. Imagine if you're a Cubs and Sox fan.
Yeah.
You're watching both these teams.
And so that's where I'm at right now with the Cubs. And here's what you've got to do if you're Jed Hoyer. If you're Jed Hoyer, you have to determine one of two things. One, am I going to trade away major league ready talent? I don't even know if you could trade Cody Bellinger right now. He's on the IL. I know he's only on the 10-day IL, but he got hit on the hand, and I don't know how quick he'll be back. You've got Mike Tauchman. You've got Nico Horner. You've got Ian Happ if you can get him to waive his no trade clause. You got Jamison Taillon. But you've got a plethora of guys who are blocked positionally down in your minor leagues. Now,
yeah, they're gonna make
and they make anything in the major leagues. Who's to say that these guys aren't 4A players? Who's to say that these guys aren't guys who are great down at AAA, Matt Mervis, and they come up to Major League Baseball and can't hit Major League pitching? PCA.
We're seeing a lot of guys like that.
$180 million. He's right now, $1 million per point on his batting average. I mean, he's hitting 200.
Yeah, there's too many players on both these teams. 200.
You spent the money in the wrong places. You have guys who were better than Dansby Swanson available during that same. It was a shortstop bonanza.
It was.
You waited till everybody signed, and then you bargain shopped for Dansby Swanson.
Exactly.
And there's a reason why he was the last one available, because he had never hit better than 250 in a season, minus the one season he had going into his contract year, because he had never hit 25 home runs consistently, because he was not Trey Turner, because he was not Xander Bogaerts. He was none of those guys. And what did you do? You waited. So Jed Hoyer, this is on you. And now you have to make this decision, because if you start depleting this roster of your major league talent, you better be 110% sure that these prospects are going to come up and be good at this level. Or you take your prospects and you flip them. I don't care what you do this year. You're not a winning team this year. I don't care if you go and get a closer. I don't care if you go and get a big bat. The injuries have hampered you. You're not going to win the World Series. You're not better than Philly right now. You're not better than the Dodgers.
The Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying if you had a big bat and a closer, then you're probably better than the Diamondbacks. But
possibly. But that Diamondbacks team
right.
is coming.
Yeah. Oh, they're good. But if you have to make that decision because now you have to be married to this. It's just like Ryan Poles, the decision he had this past offseason. Do I trade the pick and stick with Fields and marry to Fields, or do I trade Fields and get married to my pick? He chose one way, and now he's married to it. And I've said it in the past, and I'll say it again. If Caleb Williams fails, Ryan Poles is never a GM in this league again. Jed Hoyer has to make that decision with whether or not he trades a talent or whether or not he trades some pieces in the farm system. You have got to make a decision. And you've got to make a decision now. Do you sell your farm system and get some pieces back that are major league ready to try to make a push for a wild card? Who knows what happens in the playoffs? Blah, blah, blah. I still don't think you can make any noise, but maybe you do, right? Because nobody thought that the Diamondbacks were making any noise last year either, and look what they did. So, or do you deplete your major league ready system and bring up the youngins? What do you do? Because those are your two options. Your option is to sell and buy at the same time. I've said this before, and I'm going to say sell and buy at the same time, because the Cubs are not in a position to just sell everybody. They're not going to have a fire sale. They're not just going to be like, oh, hey, take this guy, and this guy, because they don't have those contracts to do that.
No, they don't. No, they don't have those like team friendly contracts. Like Crochet got $900,000 this year. He's going to have a couple arbitration years where you're going to pay him something, but it's not going to be as big as it was. And they do. He has probably one of the harder jobs right now in baseball because he doesn't have those. He doesn't have a debt like a Fetty, which is obvious. I mean, he's got Tyone. I don't know if you're going to get the same as you're going to get with Fetty. I mean,
you got 2 years of control though. So if you're getting rid of Tyone, I mean, Tyone's a guy who could help you pitch next year, and next year you plan on being competitive, right? I mean, I hope.
You have to take the calls, and then with Ian Happ, you tell him like, what teams would you go to? We're going to talk to only those teams. I mean, I think they're definitely having the conversations. It just depends what you're going to get in a trade. Tyone wasn't very good last year. Maybe you're getting less because of that, because teams don't know, what they're getting, but you have to make some move here. You can't stay pat and get one reliever who's like middle of the road. You can't do that. If you're pushing all in, then yeah, you are trading those chips and those prospects. That's what I think. I'm sick of being on both sides. You either go for it or you don't. I mean, I think you have to make that decision, or you're not going to have the players that you need to, like you said, win a championship. I just don't think they have it this year. I really don't. I think they should make some trades. If something comes along where you can trade some of your talent, maybe an Armstrong, you trade, maybe a Horton, you trade, maybe there's a couple guys that you package together, and you're right. Maybe you get a Vlad Guerrero Jr. I think he's going to go to a competitor, but maybe you get him, and yeah, it's a sign, and then you give him like a 5-year, 6-year contract, whatever that's going to be. Maybe you do that. But that doesn't happen a whole lot. And you still have this series. You'll still have a little bit of time after this series. So you could still wait for the series. They sweep Milwaukee. I'm not saying it's totally different, but maybe you do buy then. But then you're kind of playing. Then you're like a fan. You're playing the scorecards the whole time, and that becomes a problem too. Do you know who your players are? If you're waiting for this series with Milwaukee, how good of a GM are you, Jed Hoyer? Who knows?
Ian Happ is a .237 hitter who has 15 home runs and leads the team in strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean,
so what are you getting for Ian Happ?
Also can hit from the left side as well.
Yeah, he's a switch hitter, but who cares what side of the plate he's hitting from when he's just striking out?
Can play a little infield too if you needed him to in a pinch.
Well, he's a Gold Glove outfielder.
Yeah,
he's won 2 Gold Gloves.
Also can play outfield. He did come up as a second baseman though, so he might be able to.
Terrible there
for you. Yeah, he wasn't very good, but. Who knows? I mean, he does have some versatility is what I'm saying. I think you get something for him, especially maybe if you package him with Tyone. who knows what's out there right now. That's why it's very hard to speculate from our seat. All I can do is look and see a team that is at best on the fence as a team. That is at best a 500 team. We haven't seen them do better in over 2 years. I think at some point you have to be like, look, the Sox were in the same position in 2016 where they kept trying to win, and it wasn't happening. And, famously Rick Hahn said we're mired in mediocrity. Now you could say, yes, the rebuild didn't work, but they definitely got the prospects for it. I don't know. Maybe at this point, though, we cannot be middle of the road. I'd rather be terrible than middle of the road.
Even if they sweep the Brewers, they're still 7 games out because they're 10 games out right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that. Like, how good of GM are you? Where you keep saying, yeah, we're going to wait. We're still evaluating. We're still going to. How good of a GM are you if you don't know your own team? If you don't know whether waiting is good or not? I mean, I don't see any sparks of greatness coming out of this team. At least the Arizona Diamondbacks had actual players who were playing on the field, not players in the farm system, but players who were playing on that field. I mean, look at that lineup. They got some position players that last year were at least showed you some greatness. I don't.
They are 3.5 back in the wild card behind 6 teams. San Francisco, Pittsburgh, San Diego, and Arizona are all ahead of them for the final wild card spot. Yes, they're only 3.5 back, but that's a lot of teams to jump.
Yeah, it is. That's the yeah. We've talked about that before. You brought it up before. It is. It's tough. And like I said, I just don't see. I just don't see a Christian Walker or a Corbin Carroll in their lineup. And that's not a great team. No. Arizona is not, as it sits now, a great team. They look like they're coming again, but they don't look like a juggernaut. They're not the Philadelphia Phillies. They're not the New York Yankees right now. And I don't see the Cubs having a Corbin Carroll. Do you? Or no. I don't even see him having.
I think that's coming in the offseason.
Suarez.
They're not buying. They're not going to get that big bat at the trade deadline like I was hoping for before with Vladdy or with Pete Alonso. That's going to end up happening in the offseason. But the same exact scenario as last year, he says, Jeremiah Murray, don't fall for it again. If you can get rid of anything, do it. That's the problem, though.
He's agreeing with me again.
What major league player can you get rid of off of this team? Nico Horner, maybe. He's hitting 260. He's got a movable contract. You're talking about Mike Tauchman, who's just been playing out of his mind for 2 years. Maybe Mike Tauchman's bet. Maybe it just took him till he was 31 to realize how good he was and what his potential was. And Cody Bellinger, but Cody Bellinger's hurt. Christopher Morel, maybe. And then Jamison Tyon.
Could be a piece, but they got to have like 4 years left of control.
Right, but
maybe they don't believe in him anymore, and someone just needs a power hitter in their lineup, and they go with that.
So what are you trading those pieces for? Because here's my problem. You've already got a top 5 farm system that is already positionally blocked.
Yeah,
and you're not opening up any positions for these guys to come to.
Yeah, but this is what the Cubs did, at least when Theo was around. And the Sox for years have done the reverse, where they go get position players. Position players are less likely to get hurt than pitchers. There was a lot of reasons for it that they listed. They draft, is what I'm saying, and go to the international side to get positional players. That's usually what they scout. They put a lot of their scouting into, and then they use other teams sometimes to do their pitching scouting for them. So they'll trade for pitching. Maybe that's what they do. They get a couple of pretty good prospects. Look at what the Sox got for Dylan Cease, even though Dylan Cease
they've got pitching prospects. He's given
up 2 hits and 14 innings or something like that, but yeah,
they've got pitching prospects. They've got Caleb Killian. They've got their number 1 prospect is a pitching prospect.
You got to load up on guys like that. You have to load up on guys like that. Not every pitching prospect is either going to have Tommy John surgery or not going to make it. There's a large percentage.
That's why my point is
you
you whatever you trade, even if it's Nico, even if it's Jamison Tyon, even if it's Ian Happ, I don't care who it is, Christopher Morel, Cody Bellinger, I don't care which one of those guys you trade. I think you're selling those guys to other teams that you are buying from. You're selling them to the Pittsburghs, the Cincinnatis, the teams that Pittsburgh and Cincinnati both in the wild card race, right? Ahead of the Cubs. You can sell them to both of those guys, but you need some of their major league ready talent back. You need a relief pitcher, whether it's a relief pitcher that's already in their pen. It doesn't have to be their top relief pitcher, because any relief pitcher, your worst relief pitcher is probably better than the Cubs' best relief pitcher right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a trade would work. I'm not a scout. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm just saying that's usually what they do. Doubting Thomas, like, mark the time. He actually agrees with me. Draft for hitting, pay for pitching. That actually was the way, and it seemed really smart when the Cubs won a World Series, but it bit them in the ass after the World Series. Now,
because they never did anything to fill the holes around that roster. That was one of the things that I said over and over and over again. When they lost Dexter Fowler, they never replaced Dexter Fowler with another Dexter Fowler type player. Almora too. I mean, Almora was a part of that World Series team. He had the damn tag up. I agree, but
the tag up, nice tag up.
It was the most heads up tag up of all time.
180.
That's fine, but that was you know what? That was a guy that they drafted and developed.
I'd like to offer a rebuttal.
Exactly, and now they got the same guy again in PCA. A guy
it seems like
can't hit. So you have to know that these prospects are going to come up and play. You have to know that Matt Shaw is going to be able to take over third base in another year. You have to know that.
Yeah.
You have to know, just like you've tried it already twice with Matt Mervis, and he's failed miserably both times. So you need to trade Matt Mervis. Matt Mervis is not your first baseman of the future. Michael Busch is. Michael Busch has been really good this year.
Yeah.
Michael Busch leads the team in hitting.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
This season, knowing that.
Mike Tauchman and Michael Busch are the two best hitters on this team.
And even though I think they're perfectly fine players, but that's the reason why you're 10 games back.
Yeah. They need to be the reason why you've won like a couple of extra games on top of the reason why you're 10 games over. They can't be the guys. They have to be the pieces around the guys. And it's been bad. So I don't know what they do. I'm really interested to see what Jed does and how he handles this. But to me, this team is in a position where they have to sell and buy at the same time. It's not, you don't just sell the farm and get, you gotta go and sell the farm and get who? Vladdy? Okay, great. Go get Vladdy. But then what are you doing with Michael Busch? Who has been I just talked about being your best hitter.
Do you fire Jed in the offseason?
If this team does not make the playoffs, if this team does not get into the wild card, I said this earlier in the season, I would fire Jed Hoyer. But if you're going to do that and you've already got that mentality to this point, you would consider this season a failure so far, right? I mean, anybody with half a brain would consider. So why would you let Jed Hoyer make all of these moves if you're not? That's why I don't think they're going to fire him. But I would fire him. Why would you let him make all these moves if you think he's failing and you don't think he knows what he's doing and you think he's bad at his job and you need a replacement? Why are you going to let him sell the farm?
Yeah, you'd have to fire him now. Yeah. Or maybe you just steadfast and do that in the off season. It just see what the Ricketts want to do. I mean, they've been 500 for too long.
Yeah.
For far too long.
I agree.
Where you have going somewhere in sport. Either down or up.
If you hire somebody to come and build a deck for you on your home, and the first time you go and you step out on it, it's a little shaky, and you're like, all right. You call him, and he comes back, and you're like, all right, you got to fix it. And then you go back out the next day, and it's a little shaky again. And you call him back again, and he's like, all right, this time I got it fixed. It's really fixed. And then you go out the next day, and it damn near falls over. Are you calling that guy back, or are you calling in somebody new to get it done right?
Somebody new.
So, I mean, that's where you're at with the Cubs. That's where you're at with Jed Hoyer.
You're out on Jed Hoyer.
I've been out on Jed Hoyer. I was out on Jed Hoyer last year.
Wow.
I told you that last year.
You'd think your partner on the podcast would know that.
I told you that last year. I said I would not let Jed Hoyer go into this offseason. I was out on him with the Dansby with the shortstop stuff. I was out on him with Dansby Swanson.
Yeah, that's a tough one. When you get a guy who bats, career 240, 250, there's too much. My deck was paying of 100% Matt Purvis blanks.
Wow.
Be the comment of the day.
Don't step out on the Jeremiah's deck because you're just gonna fall through.
Someone new like Caleb Williams. Ooh, boy, what are you off Caleb Williams already, Daniel Thomas?
Can we get Ryan? Does Ryan Poles have a brother that can come and run the Cubs?
Hey, don't throw any flowers at his feet yet. The Bears have done nothing.
I know. Trust me, I know.
They're the White Sox of the NFL.
Got to prove it on the field, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, are we done talking about the crappy Ball City yet? Yeah, we are.
We're done. It's gibberish, folks. I didn't even wait this time. It's a diatribe. It's a conspiracy theory. And it's an island in the middle of an apologetic and sometimes inaccurate sport talk. I think we did pretty good this week. My Wi-Fi is somehow, by the grace of God, stayed up.
I think you sabotaged it last week.
I did.
I was like, hey Fitz, I got some really important people to watch us, and you're like, I can't hear what?
That's terrible.
That was not good. Buckle up, Combs.
Guy sells internet. We're not doing good. It's too good over here. Anyway, buckle up, Combs, because it's time to go to the now.
Oh, try here. Stop. What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We'll be past then.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now? Soon. How soon?
Other than being an hilarious clip, it raises a great point. That looking into the past or the future way too often you can lose focus on the now, especially in this media horrorscape.
I said horror, guys, horror.
Or horror. I am consistently at fault not living in the now, with being obsessed with history, having a robust record collection, and forcing my wife to watch old movies like Casablanca. There's no wonder that I do miss things. Although there is one place where this show has not been left in the past or the future.
Oh, God.
And we can include one broadcaster in that team, I guess. Sir Charles Barkley. You already saw him today a couple of times when he was at Edgewood Tahoe Resort in Lake Tahoe, California earlier this week, talking about his retirement from TNT's NBA coverage inside the NBA after 25 years, which has been probably the most popular pre and post game show out there.
Bullshit.
I mean, look at the ratings. Right now, though,
We're the best pregame show out there.
Yeah, goddamn right we are. See us at McNally's. Anyway,
shameless plug.
111th and Western. Right now, though, that show, not our show, might be in jeopardy because NBC Universal and Amazon are trying to buy the rights to stream NBA games. And Amazon needs more money, like I need another drink. There's like one drop left. We both had enough. And it's time to start thinking about the future of humanity instead of our gluttony. Anyway, Barkley, the round mound of rebound, pushed for position with his quote about the possible streaming move while speaking with CNBC. Well, Barkley said, I think that you got greedy players and greedy owners. They don't really care about anything but how to make the most money possible. We should never put money above the regular fan. Everybody can't afford streaming. There's nothing wrong with streaming, but when you start just going to the highest bidder and you're not on regular television, I think you do the service to the fan.
That's terrible.
I get it, Barley. It was
You lied to
terrible.
me.
You said your finger was a gun.
We are sorry. We did not have the video of that quote from Sir Charles, but he was quoted on CNBC where the video has been scrubbed from the internet. I couldn't find it. I only looked for like an hour, but I couldn't find it. Are you ready to have to pay for Amazon Prime for nationally televised games? That's $140 a year or $15 a month. And in that scenario, there is zero competition or your cable provider negotiating for an honest price for you. This whole new era of backing the sports fan into a corner to separate money from their wallet is ongoing. We talked about it in baseball with the regional sports network, and now we're talking about the NBA. And the crown jewel of sports money is ready to get theirs. Yes, I'm talking about the National Football League, who recently, I can find it, I saw this shot. Yes, this is what you would pay for every NFL game right now. $670, which is roughly only 5 months for $670. So if you extrapolate that to a year, we're talking $1,300. Not that football is year long, but you know what I mean, per month.
You just get a jailbroken Fire Stick like I can. You watch them all for free.
Exactly. Or just sit at a bar all day. But who knows if bars have all these streaming channels? Sports ownership Illuminati is not making additional money off of ticket sales and regular television anymore, people. So they're going to sell themselves like a hooker at a high-end craps table in Vegas to the highest bidder. So please, fellow sports fans, I implore you to live in the now and protest this sports streaming Armageddon. That's Fitz gibberish. Combs.
He's crazier than a shithouse rat. No wonder you're acting the way you...
I'm just saying, this is ongoing. It's the 2.5 Fitz gibberish I've done on this.
I agree. Look, I'm with you.
Watch all the games with an antenna. It's ridiculous.
I agree with you. It's ridiculous. It's insane. It's asinine. It's a money grab. All they care about is putting more of our money into their pockets. I 110% agree with you. I'm still buying all of them. I have to see the games. And they know that. It's the same reason why gas prices are still at $4 a gallon. I still have to get to work. I'm still going to put the gas in my freaking tank. Even $1 when I started driving way back when I was 16 is $1.01 a gallon. And now it is $4 a gallon. It's the same damn gas. Does the same damn thing in the engine. Does the same damn thing for the car. Doesn't do anything different. It's not special. Doesn't give me, I don't go faster. I don't go farther. It's the same damn gas. It's $4 a gallon now. But I'm still going to pay for it.
Is the new fan going to do that?
Yes.
Like we're kind of at a crossroads here in sports where they're changing the way we consume it.
Yes,
Kind
the
of-
new fan's going to buy it. Yes. Everybody's going to keep buying it. And it's
I'm not
because
100% on that.
I'm just telling you, that's just the way it is. I mean, look, there's going to be a lot more people stealing it. There's going to be a lot more people with Amazon sticks like I've got.
Yeah, but you can't really steal a streaming. I mean, you could steal a cable station, but it's very hard to steal a streaming.
I mean, I've got
especially live. Darling Thomas said, I would protest, but I already have Amazon Prime. Do you have Netflix? Do you have the other? I mean, I
already have Amazon Prime too, because I have an Amazon account.
Well, all I'm saying is that's $140 a year. That's going to keep going, and then I mean, are we going to be able to watch the NBA title?
Cable's going to go away, and people are like, "Oh, cable's going to go away. Cable's the devil. You pay the rates of cable are way too much. I'm just going to stream everything." And now you pay more for your streaming services than you did for cable.
Absolutely. And at least the cable negotiated for you, and they wanted to keep the price down to some of these regional sports networks and some of these NBA networks and all that. They wanted to keep the price down for you so they didn't have to hire your package.
But people see, oh, the cable company wants $280 a month for cable and internet. Yes, that's crazy. That's a lot of money. But what they see is, oh, it's only $16.99 if I get Amazon. Oh, hey, it's only $15.99 if I get, Hulu TV. It's only $14.99. So now you've got 15 streaming services at $15, and now you're paying more than you were for cable. It's just more money. All it is, dude, this is the way the world works. The elites find more ways to make more money. And they feed it to you in a way that they know you will consume it. Yes, it's not all one lump sum. You don't owe it all at the same time to the same damn company. You know the Hulu comes out on the 1st when you started your service. The Amazon comes out on the 14th when you started your service. So it looks like it's smaller increments, but you're paying more money.
It's just hard for me to believe that the new generation that's getting fucked over even worse than us. I mean, house prices are way up, all that are going to care enough about sports this kind of money.
Dude, yes. You don't see this generation and what they are paying for. Like, I looked at houses the other day here in Chicago. I mean, it's insane. We have a small 3-bedroom house with a bath and a half. And it's valued at a little over $300,000 in the city. I was looking at a job out towards still in Illinois, but out towards Iowa in that area. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let me see what the cost of living is out there. 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, some crazy, like 5,000, 6,000 square feet, something crazy. A lot of freaking room. $300,000. I could fit 2 of my houses inside of it, and it's the same damn price.
Yeah,
but people want to live closer to the city. They want to do it, so they pay the price, and that's what it's going to be. Look, dude, you talk about the price of tickets. The price, it's $10 at Wrigley 2 months ago. I went to go get a hot dog. $10 for a hot dog at Wrigley. That stadium is packed every day, and they suck. We just spent 45 minutes talking about how bad they are and how the GM needs to do this, and the baseball in this city is terrible. The stadium is packed. I got the game on in the background right now. The game hasn't even started yet. I saw there might have been 500, 600 empty seats, but those will be full by the time the game actually starts.
Yeah, or those people are in the concourse or what have you.
Absolutely. People are still going to buy it. People are still going to consume it. People are still going to find a way to go and do it. The fact that a family of 4 has to spend an average of $545 to go to a baseball game is insane.
It's insane. And
between parking, between tickets. Yes. It's that people are like, I got the tickets today. I remember, was it I was looking at tickets. Oh yeah, for opening day. My buddies wanted to go to opening day. So they called me up. Hey, we can get tickets. They're real cheap. We'll get them for like $60 a piece. I was like, all right, cool. I'll grab the parking that day. Go to look at the parking. Cheapest parking spot, $240.
Jesus.
5 times the price of a ticket. 5 times the price of a ticket.
I mean, I get that. I mean, the north side is the north side. There's a lot of money up there. That place is going to be filled but not every stadium is filling up anymore. They're already talking about building new stadiums with less carrying capacity, especially in baseball, because they're just not selling out. Half the league is just not selling out. More than half the league is just not selling out. I mean, I'm saying in the future, like, where is the dividing line? How much are we going to pay to consume sports into the future if they keep doubling this up?
It's not because it's not just sports, because now they found the way now, like WWE fans, right? Let's take them for example. Remember when WWE app came out and all of a sudden it was $9.99 and you get all the pay-per-views and you get everything out there. Now WWE is going to Netflix. So now not only do you get movies, but now you get live sporting events. They have boxing events on Netflix now. So now they're starting to combine, hey, if you have Netflix, you can see this, this, and this. All right, cool. I've got Netflix. It used to be, remember when you had you had cable back in the day and your parents would either have HBO or Showtime, but they would never have both of them because it would cost too much. So you would get HBO. You would get the boxing on HBO.
Boxing, yeah.
But if the boxing, if it was a certain fight by a certain promoter, was only on Showtime, now all of a sudden your dad's like, you know what? We're getting Showtime. That's what it's going to be for all of these streaming events. That's what it's going to be for all of these streaming services. People are still going to buy. They're going to add to it. People are going to protest it at first. People protested Peacock. Remember Peacock? When Peacock got the Sunday night games or Apple TV got the baseball games and all that stuff, people protested. But then you know what? People's teams, all of a sudden, the Cubs were on Apple TV, and you go on Apple TV. You know what I did? Went and got Apple TV.
Jesus.
I got to see the game. Especially now that I'm doing this for a living. I have to watch the game.
Is that what you're telling Michelle, or?
No, it's the truth though, because now if I miss it, and now we're working the show the very next day, and they're talking about it, I don't want to be the only asshole being like, oh no, I didn't see it. Some of the streaming services, because I have an Apple phone, that I realized afterwards that I did my free trial, that because I have an iPhone, you actually get free Apple TV. Just so you know, if you have an iPhone, you already have Apple TV. For people that don't know that, unsubscribe if you have an iPhone, because you already get it for free. So that type of stuff but that is what is going to happen. The sports fans like you, like me, like Jeremiah, like everybody who's watching this damn show right now, they are going to want to consume the product. And they might complain about it for a little while, but after a while, it's going to be like, all right, you know what? Let's just get it. Because they're going to want to have a party on a Sunday. And now all of a sudden, the only way you're going to see the Bears game is if you have Hulu Plus.
Oh my God.
All right, well, we're going to have people over, so you know what, let's just get Hulu. Even if we just do the free subscription, let's do Hulu, and then what happens? You're on Hulu, you get the free subscription, and then all of a sudden this commercial comes on for this show, and your wife is like, that actually looks really good. We already got the service, let's just see. And then you forget that you have the free subscription. Now all of a sudden they're taking it out of your account, and it's only $5.99, so you're like, oh, what the hell do I care? How many times do you spend $15, $20, $30 on stuff?
I don't know if they're putting Manchester United on Netflix. I don't know if they're in other countries. I don't know if they're taking this bullshit.
Think about if you go to, it used to be, we could go to McDonald's for $12 and the whole family would eat. Now, if you and your wife go to McDonald's and each get one meal, it's $30.
Yeah, it's insane. And
so you spend $30 on that. What's $14.99 to a subscription? Once a month.
Adds up, obviously.
Oh yeah, it adds up.
It adds up. If you want to watch every NFL game, it's over $600.
But what I'm saying is, it's not on one bill. If I told you that you were going to,
it's just like taxes. It's an old
If I told you were going to go out to eat every single day and you were going to spend $10.99 each day, $10.99 at McDonald's, and you're going to go tomorrow, you're going to spend $10.99 at Burger King, the day after that at Taco Bell, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, cool. It's $11 a day, whatever I got to eat. I don't care what restaurant. Say you go to your favorite, a steakhouse. You're going to spend $10.99 at a steakhouse. All right, cool. It's only $10.99, but it's $10.99. Now, if I told you, hey, I'm going to send you out to eat at every restaurant, but at the end of the week, you're going to give me $150. You're going to be like, whoa.
Yeah,
right?
Not one.
It's a completely different. It's about your mentality and how you look at what it costs and what the increment of everything is. If it's just one cable bill, you're like, God, that's a lot of money. But if it's 15 different apps that take out the more money than what the cable bill was doing, but take it out at separate times, you don't care. And this generation doesn't care.
Tommy Thomas says young Combs got by with WG.
I did.
Card.
I did. I remember coming home from school, and it was a 120 game because they didn't have lights, and I had to turn the little knob on the TV to get it to adjust just right, so the screen wasn't all fuzzy. Absolutely, I remember those days. But that's not the world we live in anymore. We live in a world right now where I'm talking to you guys live, and I've got a 70-inch TV in the background with the Cubs game on in HD TV. And if I wanted to right now, I could flip it over and I could watch any other baseball game that is on right now. Because that's the world we live in. Back then, I could watch WGN. And then once we got cable, I was able to watch the Cubs on WGN. I was able to watch the Braves on TBS. And I was able to watch the Mets on WWOR. And then it came to, hey, dude, I could watch every team anytime I want on my phone. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the phone thing is pretty cool. The phone thing is pretty cool.
And now because I have T-Mobile, I get that for free too.
I think a lot of that is going on. I think every team, especially in baseball, you're going to have to pay for an app, just like if you're paying for Netflix or anything else.
And it's just like that. That's the other thing that people don't realize is that people say, like I just said, right? I got T-Mobile, so now I get it for free. I don't get it for free. Instead of my bill only being $140 a month, it's $215.
I just don't think this is I think some people think they're not in the now. This isn't the 90s anymore. I just don't think there's that many people out there who have the money to pay for all these streaming subscriptions to consume the sports. I think there's got to be a tip at some point where sports stops exponentially growing and making more and more and more money every year, like insanely. Jerry Reinsdorf buys the Sox for $20 million. They're worth $2 billion now.
I
look
agree.
And the Ricketts, they paid $900 million for it. They're worth $4 billion. Like, there's got to be a tipping point at some point where it's like, no. Maybe the fan doesn't say it, but there's just no money left for them to, rip us off for.
Are you ready to break down the AFC West?
Yes. But first, Jeremiah, 4-bet, 3-bet, 1,900 square feet. He wants you to live with him. Let's go. Where do you want to start? Where would you like to start, sir? What's you want to go to Colorado, Kansas City, maybe see San Diego? The weather's nice there.
Let's start with let's go to the Chargers. Let's start with the Chargers.
That's a nice place to start. The Chargers. He won't be on here, but one key addition is Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh, that's a huge addition. In the departure is probably even bigger, which is Brandon Staley.
Yeah, probably. And some people had Brandon Staley as being a good coach. I never saw it, but they obviously lose Keenan Allen, who came to the Bears. Thank you very much. Mike Williams, another big.
Mike Williams went to the Jets.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Did go to the Jets. We talked about them. That was our first week. Joe Alt, which is a left tackle I was looking at.
Yes.
Is a rookie. It doesn't say it there, but a rookie they picked up from Notre Dame.
I called it on draft night that he was going there, by the way.
You did. And I'm Jim Harbaugh being an ex-quarterback, it doesn't really surprise me a lot that they'd want a left tackle. He looks like he could be a left tackle for the next 10, 15 years, which you do need a left tackle in this league, and the Bears still don't have one. But anyway, Chargers. Yeah, I mean, Is Justin Herbert the guy? A lot of questions going on. It's going to be transitional this year. I don't remember what Harbaugh did his first season with San Fran, but I don't think it was that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad. And they had some good teams. I mean, and if he could do that with Colin Kaepernick, imagine what he's going to be able to do with Justin Herbert, who was 100 times the quarterback that Colin Kaepernick ever was. And look, I actually like this team. I know they had some departures. I know their wide receiving core got to play, but they did add Shark. They did add, obviously they beefed up that offensive line when they drafted Joe Alt. I do like this football team. I love Justin Herbert. As long as they can stay healthy, I really like their chances to be a sleeper in this division. Now, I don't know that they're going to win this division, but their schedule for the Chargers is actually really kind of weak. They get the Raiders week 1, they get the Panthers, they get the Steelers, then they do play the Chiefs, obviously divisional opponent. Broncos, divisional opponent, Cardinals, Saints, Browns, Titans, Bengals, Ravens. Tough little stretch right there, Bengals, Ravens. Then they get the Falcons. Who knows what they're going to be? The Chiefs, the Bucks, the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Raiders to round out their schedule. And I've got to tell you, I see 10 wins on this schedule.
Ooh, 10 wins.
I see 10 wins on the schedule. I'm telling you, as long as they're healthy, as long as Justin Herbert's good, they're going to sweep the Raiders, who we're going to talk about here in a little bit. They're going to beat the Panthers. I believe that this team is better than what the Steelers are. They're going to beat the Cardinals. They're going to beat the Saints. They'll beat the Browns. They'll beat the Titans. They'll win one of the 2 games versus the Bengals or the Ravens. They find a way to win one of those 2 games. That's 8. They beat the Falcons, and then they beat the Patriots. That's 10 wins. And I don't think that that's a crazy assumption.
Well, you put it that way. You might be right. I did have them better than the Raiders and possibly even the Broncos. They look like a team. At least they have a quarterback that's more ready. Jeremiah said, Harbaugh said, fuck receivers. We'll make it work. Which if you have blocking, if you have good blocking, your receivers aren't like, I mean, look, I know the Detroit Lions had some receivers and so did the Packers. They did have some guys out there. St. Brown, they had the right St. Brown brother, but they had one of the best 2 lines in the league. Jordan Love got to sit back. I mean, they had a good offensive line. So, I mean, if the receivers can run and catch every once in a while, you're going to be okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the Chargers, I mean, I thought the Bears should have got Jim Harbaugh, by the way. And I said it a couple times on the program last year. I don't know I don't really remember what you said last year, because as soon as you say something, I completely erase it from my memory.
I thought that they should have got anybody but Eberflus.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. And Jim Harbaugh is not bad. Everywhere he's gone, he's won, and not just won, like been uber successful. Stanford, Michigan, San Francisco that we just named. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the Chargers are going to be pretty good this season. I had them at 9-8. When I looked at them today before the program, I think they'll be better than the Raiders and Broncos. I think the Raiders and Broncos are going to have not very good seasons. I think the Broncos more by design. I think the Raiders are basically just a defensive team in an offensive league, but we'll get in a second. So,
all right. So
at 10?
I got them 10-7. What do you got them?
9-8 is fine for me. I don't think I can pick 9-8 for every team, because eventually teams have to play themselves. But for now, 9-8.
All right, so let's go to the other team that we talked about during there, and that would be the Raiders. The Raiders. They add Christian Wilkins, they add Gardner Minshew, they add Alexander Mattson, Michael Gallup, Brock Bowers, Jackson Powers Johnson, the center, and Delmar Glaze. Now, Jackson Powers Johnson is the guy that I wanted the Bears to go and get.
Yeah.
Jacobs, Jimmy G, Jermaine Illuminor, Hunter Renfro, and Bilal Nichols are all the departures. Look, I don't care who they added. I really don't. I look at the schedule. This team's schedule, I should say, is not conducive to what their roster is. I see them with wins against the Panthers. I see them finding one win inside the division, and then I see them maybe beating the Saints late in the year. I've got this team at 3-14.
3-14.
3-14 for the Raiders.
Jesus. I don't know.
This team's bad, man.
I mean, they did bring up, they might have the two best defensive linemen in the game. I mean, they got Christian Wilkins, who's a great player, but I could not do that.
And Max Crosby.
Max Crosby, who's been there a while, who's might be one of the better ends, if not the best end in the league.
When you look at the schedule, they got Chargers at Chargers, at the Ravens. They play the Panthers and then the Browns. Then they get the Broncos, the Steelers, the Rams in LA. They get the Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, Broncos, Chiefs, Buccaneers, Falcons, Jaguars, Saints, Chargers.
Dad, you really got to drink more.
Yeah, that's gonna be Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, 3-14 is where I'm at.
I had them at 6-11. I mean, maybe they find some wins with their defense. Who knows? Gardner Minshew, he's good. I'm not saying he's bad. He's one of the better backup quarterbacks.
He's got a great stash.
He's got a great mustache. But I got him at 6-11.
Yeah, I don't see it with this team. I do like their coaching staff. I do like their defensive ends, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't like the makeup of this team. I don't think they're going to score a ton of points. And they play some really high-powered offenses in this schedule. So for me, 3-14 is where it's at. You got them at 6-11, double what I got them at.
Let's see what happens.
Let's go to the Kansas City Chiefs, because I think I know where we're both going to have these guys.
Yeah.
So go ahead with their departures and additions.
Key additions. Marquise Brown, okay, receiver, but Xavier Worthy, I thought, was the big addition. Was definitely the fastest, or ran the fastest in the combine out of all the receivers in the combine. I think it was like a 4.2, maybe in the 4.1s 40. Carson Wentz as a backup. If Carson Wentz is playing, you're fucked. But they got him offensive tackle. They have some questions on the line. They will have some questions on the line this year. The right tackle they got, I forgot his name, did not do well last year. They lost Snead as their cornerback. He was their best cornerback last year. That could be a problem. Willie Gay as well. Marquise Valdez-Scantling. I think everybody wanted him gone with all of his drops. I mean, Jesus. Jarek McKinnon and Nick Algretti also.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
I mean, I'd say
it doesn't matter who they lost. They still got Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be one of the favorites to win the MVP. He is a stud. This team's 13-4.
I just think there's a lot of variance on this team. Travis Kelce did not have 1,000 yards for his first time ever.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Like, you think Michael Jordan was just like a robot and could win with anybody. He lost for 7 years before he won a championship. So they need something. Their offensive.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
And their defense was pretty good last year. They're not going to be as good this year. All that being said, I have them at 12-5. Because of Patrick Mahomes, but I don't think they win the Super Bowl this year. I think this is a transition year for them.
Yeah.
I mean, after 11-6, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think there's some teams that are better than them in the AFC this year. And will be better than them head to head.
Joe Burrow is coming, baby.
I agree with you, as long as he can stay healthy, as long as they can block for him. But this schedule for them, I mean, look, they get the Ravens and Bengals weeks 1 and 2, so it's not like they just have a cakewalk. They don't have the traditional get me in game into the season. They've got 2 really tough games against two teams in the AFC that could really end up beating them in the playoffs. But then they get the Falcons. They get the Chargers twice because they're a divisional opponent. They get the Saints out of division, the 49ers in San Francisco, and that's going to be wild in San Francisco. They're going to want revenge. I think they get it. That's one of their 4 losses. But then they get the Raiders. They're better than the Buccaneers. They're better than the Broncos. They're better than the Bills. They're better than they get the Panthers on their schedule. I don't know how that happened. They get the Raiders, Chargers, Browns, Texans, Steelers. They're just good. They're going to be a 13-4 team, but they're going to be one of those 13-4 teams where some of those games they kind of win them ugly. And people are like, is this really a 13-4 team, or is this
year?
Yeah, and so I'm not saying whether or not I think that they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I just think they're going to run roughshod over their schedule.
Yeah, I mean, almost. Yeah, I mean, they're in a Patriots type division now, so basically the Bears finishing with a better record than all these teams.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned
for the NFC North. That's what we call a tease in the business.
Tease.
Selling Thomas. But yeah, I mean, they're in a Patriots type division and they've been in it for a while. I mean, with the Patriots type division when it was the Jets and the Dolphins and they were terrible and they won like 10 or 11 divisions in a row. They're kind of in that kind of division now. Although I think the Chargers not have a shot to win the division, but are going to be on the way up with Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So time to smoke a little weed and go to Colorado or what?
Let's do it. Let's talk about Mark DiGiacomo's Denver Broncos. Couldn't join us tonight, but I know he has been in the chat. But they add Bo Nix, who to me was one of the top 2 quarterbacks in that draft.
Ooh, boy.
They also add Zach Wilson as his backup. I don't know why the hell they did that. They added Troy Franklin and Josh Reynolds. Meanwhile, they lost Russell Wilson, lost Jerry Jeudy, lost their center Lloyd Cushenberry and Josie Jewell. I think that this team is going to be better than people think. I know a lot of people look at this team and they're like, I don't know what Bo Nix is going to be. They reached on Bo Nix. I think people are sleeping on Bo Nix. I think he's Justin Herbert, to be honest with you. I think that this division is going to have 3 really good quarterbacks in it. Their schedule it's mediocre. It's kind of tough, but it's got some lulls to it. They get the Seahawks, the Steelers, the Buccaneers, the Jets. Then they're obviously the Raiders twice, Chargers twice, Saints, Panthers, Ravens, Chiefs, Falcons, Raiders, Browns, Colts, Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs. I've got this team at 9-8. I really do think that they're going to be better than people think. I think Bo Nix is better than people think. And I think that having him in that system over there in Denver and having Bo Nix there, I think he is the prototypical quarterback for that system.
For Sean Payton, yeah.
For Sean Payton, I'm going 9-8. I really think that this team is going to be better than people think.
I am not going to go 9-8. I mean, I think there's big question marks on that defense. They haven't been good since Vic Fangio was there. Mm-hmm. And I think they're in big transition on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I think they'll do some decent things on offense. I think they have a similar season to the Bears season last year where they win some heartbreaks because of that defense and because of a young quarterback as well. Yeah. I have them at 7-10, and I think that's pretty favorable. I think it's a decent season for them. I think this is another team that's going to battle with the Chiefs in the future. The only team I don't see with their arrow pointing up is the Raiders in this division. I think the Broncos, even though I think they might have had the same amount, you're going to have to be high to watch this team with the lack of talent. You'll see Combs guy pissed down his leg. Worst team in football this year.
Right division, wrong team. The Raiders are going to be the worst team in football this year. I mean, look, I've heard that take a lot though, so it really doesn't surprise me. I know people they're down on Bo Nix, but look, remember when CJ Stroud got drafted and people were down on him too. Look what he did. It's this Denver team. Sean Payton is they're going to score enough points. They've got a good enough secondary to be able to beat some of these opponents. Like, I mean, they're still better than Carolina, who is on their schedule. They are still better than the Cleveland Browns, I think. They are still better than the Saints. They're still better than the Raiders. They should beat the Raiders twice.
I don't know about that.
They
They
should.
And that
Yeah.
quarterback,
They should. And they should be better than the Seahawks, and they should be able to compete against teams like the Buccaneers and the Steelers. So, I don't think this is a whirlwind. I don't think this is a team that gets into the playoffs. But I have my 9-8.
That's the guy from Eastern Illinois, Combs. You're goddamn right, Doubting Thomas.
Didn't
those times we do this
Didn't
show.
Tony Romo go to Eastern Illinois?
Tony Romo did go to Eastern Illinois.
And I bet against him every time he got into the playoffs. And I won a lot of money.
Tell you a little off air. So did Garoppolo. So did Sean.
And I bet against Jimmy Garoppolo every time I got into a playoffs, and I won a lot of money. Exactly.
Again, why do you still have to be on the accelerator? I'm guessing they put a brick on the accelerator in that clip and just drove it off a cliff.
So there we have it. I'll make the I'll put it up. I didn't have the template ready for the screen.
That's terrible.
How dare you?
I'll put the
Thanks, Charles.
I'll put the standings up on the Facebook page. I will do all of that stuff. Guys, it's been a fantastic night. Don't forget, Combs and Fitz will be live at McNally September 8th, and each and every Bears game for pregame.
Looks like a Smurf is having sex with Donald Trump in the background, but
Aubrey picked out that background. I'm telling you, said something about it.
Sorry, Aubrey. Damn it.
See, you're such a jerk.
She didn't clip the wireless today.
But no, it's been fantastic. We had a lot of great stuff to talk about. We talked about a ton of stuff, man. It was a fantastic show. So for
Really
myself, for my guy Ryan Fitzgibbons, Fitzy, you want to get out of here?
Let's get out of here.
Let's get the hell out of here.
You are and always have been